Loneliness does not come from having no people about one, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to oneself, or from holding certain views which others find inadmissible. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. In all chaos, there is a cosmos. In all disorder, a secret order. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. The shoe that fits one person pinches another. There is no recipe for living that suits all cases. Where wisdom reigns, there is no conflict between thinking and feeling. The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. There's no coming to consciousness without pain. Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darkness of other people. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. No tree, it is said, can grow to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell. We cannot change anything unless we accept it. The greatest tragedy of the family is the unlived lives of the parents. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Where love rules, there is no will to power, and where power predominates, love is lacking. The one is the shadow of the other. A dream that is not understood remains a mere occurrence. Understanding it becomes a living experience. Thinking is difficult. That's why most people judge. To ask the right question is already half the solution of a problem. I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. Mistakes are, after all, the foundations of truth, and if a man does not know what a thing is, it is at least an increase in knowledge if he knows what it is not. As a child, I felt myself to be alone, and I am still, because I know things and must hint at things which others apparently know nothing of, and for the most part, do not want to know. Whatever is rejected from the self appears in the world as an event. A man who has not passed through the inferno of his passions has never overcome them. You are what you do, not what you say you'll do. As far as we can discern, the sole purpose of human existence is to kindle a light of meaning in the darkness of mere being. How can I be substantial if I do not cast a shadow? I must have a dark side also, if I am to be whole. The pendulum of the mind oscillates between sense and nonsense, not between right and wrong. Nothing has a stronger influence psychologically on their environment and especially on their children than the unlived life of the parent. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Even a happy life cannot be without a measure of darkness, and the word happy would lose its meaning if it were not balanced by sadness. I shall not commit the fashionable stupidity of regarding everything I cannot explain as a fraud. Every psychic advance of man arises from the suffering of the soul. It all depends on how we look at things and not how they are in themselves. If a man knows more than others, he becomes lonely. Do not compare, do not measure. No other way is like yours. All other ways deceive and tempt you. You must fulfill the way that is in you. Man needs difficulties. They are necessary for health. If the path before you is clear, you're probably on someone else's. The greatest potential for growth and self-realization exists in the second half of life. We meet ourselves time and time again in 1,000 disguises on the path of life. Don't hold on to someone who's leaving, otherwise you won't meet the one who's coming. The healthy man does not torture others. Generally, it is the tortured who turn into torturers. Knowledge rests not upon truth alone, but upon error also. Wholeness is not achieved by shutting off a portion of one's being, but by integration of the contraries. Man's task is to become conscious of the contents that press upward from the unconscious. Solitude is for me a fount of healing which makes my life worth living. Talking is often a torment for me, and I need many days of silence to recover from the futility of words. The creative mind plays with the object it loves. I find all my thoughts circle around God, like the planets around the sun. Your visions will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes.